A year ago today, today's guest felt like life was passing him by, that he was getting old before his time. Today, he's running a company, finished a 250-page business plan that no one else will ever read. He's about to reveal a tool directly out of that turnaround. This is When the Fuck Did I Become Old, the fun, edgy and unapologetically honest podcast about the experiences of aging, where, as the title suggests, nothing is off the table. And I'm your host, Jo Parker, and today I'd like to introduce Daniel Akutt to the programme. Thank you for coming, Daniel.
Hey, Jo, and hello to all the viewers today. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much. So, you described it as life is passing you by. What happened?
You know, when you're trying to do something and in your mind you think it's something big and something impactful, you kind of get a bit lost because, you know, things don't go as planned. They're not going as well as they should. And you see other people continuing and maybe speeding up in the area, but then you're always trying to find justifications like, oh, well, they're doing something that is, you know, simple, or, you know, and I'm trying to change the world. Like, I have a much bigger vision. So
Yeah.
you kind of get stuck in thinking that, you know, am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Does this feel right? And it's just constantly challenged that thought process around, you know, are you on the right path?
So a bit of the imposter syndrome, maybe?
Imposter syndrome. That is one of our test systems that we built a couple of years ago called the imposter syndrome.
Oh, interesting. Should we go back? Should we come back to that?
Yeah.
So let's come back to the imposter syndrome. So, but you said at that time you felt like you were getting old before your time, because you're not our typical demographic, but you are on your way to it. But so you felt like you were getting old. Why?
You know, I think when you work so much and you
Yeah.
really believe that you're trying to do something, but you're constantly getting barriers and blocks the whole way, you know, you really feel like you're aging very quickly. Tired, everything is, you know, aching.
Yeah.
You can't do the things the biggest thing I noticed was my brain power, the brain capacity to actually process information and like move forward or make decisions on the tennis court. Everything was just slowing down.
Yeah,
And
so-
yeah, it felt terrible.
So you were experiencing brain fog.
Brain fog, like physical fatigue, not being able to sleep. Even if I was sleeping 8 hours,
Yeah.
just waking up exhausted every day, it was the same thing.
So massively stressed to the point where you can't function.
I don't want to answer that question, but yes, that's
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, I mean, my listeners have heard me go through I genuinely thought my overload and fatigue and not sleeping and everything was hormonal related. I really did. But actually what we've learned is that it was chronic stress, years of chronic stress that people don't necessarily recognize. So the fact that you recognized it at the time, what did you do to change that? And how, I mean, when did you first notice the signs of change?
Well, the biggest thing is you don't actually know what to do.
True.
You don't actually know what to do. And I kept watching these shows, and you know, I mentioned a bit earlier with you, like, nobody's coming to save you.
Sadly.
And it really is one of those things. It's like, they're literally, as you can look out the door, nobody's coming. You've got to work it out yourself.
Yeah.
And there's all the advice in the world. There's so much information everywhere, but you've got to find the way to keep moving. And the one thing I can honestly say that just used to make me cry, sounds a bit embarrassing, but, you know, it was the song A Star Is Born by Lady Gaga. And I'd listen to that song every day on a walk, and I'd be like, bawling my eyes out, like, I'm sure there's supposed to be more. I'm supposed to be better. I'm supposed to be changing the world. What am I doing? So yeah, it was really challenging.
It's a difficult place to be in. I remember A Star Is Born by Barbara Streisand. Just, you know, the generation thing. But back to the serious thing. We talked about it earlier before we started recording. Is that you then at some stage made a decision? So how did you make a decision?
It happened to be like, I believe in environment. You know, when you're in an environment where the things are the same, nothing's going to change. And I was in Bali. I mean, not the typical story in Bali, you know, everybody goes through transformation, but I was at my friend's house. We went for a mountain bike. His name's John Abbott, fantastic friend. And we went on this mountain bike through the forest, came back, had a swim. And he says to me, I want to do a love meditation. Do you want to do it with me?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, I've never done more than 5 minutes of quiet brain time because my brain was just going crazy. I was like, yeah, sure. And I did 30 minutes and I had all these visuals and things. And that was by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I just started listening to his, meditations. And I would do it once a week or once every 2 weeks. But it started to make me really see a different path and like just be open to other things. So that's when things really just started to change for me. Yeah, and just seeing a different side of it, I guess.
Brilliant. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. I listen to a lot of his meditations.
Do you know that I just went to one of his retreats?
No. Where?
I went to Dallas like
I knew you were in
a month
Dallas.
ago.
You told me you were in Dallas. I didn't know you were at Joe Dispenza.
I know.
Oh my God. And how was it?
Honestly, it was really life-changing for me because I didn't realize how bad I was at meditating.
Right. Yeah, he gets you meditating for hours, doesn't he?
We did over 100 hours of work that week. And I mean lectures, meditation, lectures, meditation, lectures, meditation. So it's like 6 a.m. until like 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And then on the Friday, sorry to tell you if you're going to do this, but on the Friday, you go in thinking we're going to do this early meditation at 4 a.m., but it was 5 hours.
Wow.
From 5 minutes a year ago to being able to do 5 hours takes a lot of work.
How was 5 hours of meditation?
So it's lots of different processes. So like, he runs the whole week, you're learning different processes and methodologies and things. So he kind of puts them together. Mystical, kaleidoscope, abundance, all these kind of things. And I think the biggest thing for me of that whole process was the walking meditation. It's this concept of meditating and then going to trance and then walking with your eyes open as you walk into this next part, this next phase, like you're taking that step. That was amazing for me.
I've done walking meditation of his, obviously by myself, because I haven't been to a Joe Dispenza, but I had earphones in whilst going for a walk. I've done the walking meditation. Didn't do the trancey bit whilst going for a walk by myself, but I did do the walking meditation. So calming yourself right down, taking yourself away from all the things where you're saying to yourself, I should be doing this, I should be changing the world, I shoulding all over yourself, as people say, is actually calming you down. So when did you realize that was having a positive effect on your life?
It might sound strange, but the ability to measure on my watch, I put on a almost an exercise, mind and body, now don't judge the calories because it calculates it as if you're going for a light walk. So you do burn calories if you use it, but I mean, I don't know how true that is. But the one thing I noticed with my heart rate was starting and then just dropping the heart rate and just like this the whole way through the meditation.
Gosh.
The ability to just get into a very calm and quiet state, get into nothing, get into open space, because that's where you can really process. Yeah. And you talked about like, should do this or should concept. That's for me now in the 3D world where we're thinking logically about how we should do things. And meditating for me, and I'm not here to advocate for meditating, but it's the one place where you can kind of get away from the 3D world and you can think differently about different things and process different thoughts.
Yeah. So no, that's amazing, because we're here. Part of what we're talking about.
It sounds crazy.
No, not at all. Absolutely not at all. Because I think it's really important. Because part of what we are going to talk about is the tech world. In fact, what we are bombarded with too much information. So, I mean, you have said repeatedly, it's not that we are short of information. Is we don't know how to process the information, so we don't know what to do with all that information.
Yeah,
we are bombarded with it all the time, and we don't even get to choose it. So, can you expand on your thoughts on that?
Oh well, I mean, I really believe that the world doesn't have an information problem. There's enough information. It has an understanding problem.
Right.
And think about it. If you become conscious of this, the minute you walk out the door, you're just bombarded with information. Marketing, sales, do this, do that, this sign, that sign. There's just a lot of information your brain is processing. And I think that a lot of that is unconscious in the decisions we make, like, this traffic light that, they're just ingrained in our body and our process. But I really believe that when we start to get clever or smarter around the information that we want to process and how we use that information to make better decisions for our life, our career, our pathway, ahead of us, then it becomes a calculated approach and becomes a strategic approach. That's what I really believe, is that people should have the ability to make better choices about their life and career because of that.
Definitely. Because you and I have just recently been to a meeting where we were talking about relationships and whether or not we've lost the ability to relate to people because of social media. Because now they're saying that AI is replacing social media, so people are just losing themselves in it. And when we talked about the world of bombarding of information, since I've been doing this podcast, which is 14, 15 months, I'm getting bombarded.
Only 14, 15 months.
Yeah, only 14, 15 months. Well, maybe about that. So I've been bombarded with information about what you do when you're old, because I'm looking at it. So my phone thinks it knows what I need. And so the information that I'm getting is just ridiculous. I'm getting, I should be doing protein. I should be doing running. I should be doing cycling. I shouldn't be doing any of that. I should be doing weights. I should be doing yoga. I should be doing Pilates. I should be eating protein. I should be eating fat. Oh no, wait a second. I should be eating fiber. I should be not worrying about my calories. I should be worrying about my calories. It's just so difficult to know what to do. And so how have you approached this? It's not the fact that we need more information. It's the fact that we need to know how to use that information.
Well, I really love that you said that, because if you think about social media as a particular, I mean, I'm not a social media guru at all, but if you look through your feed, if you spend more than 3 seconds on a specific video, now all of a sudden you see those kind of videos. So if it's interesting for you, whether you're doing it for research or just personal disappearance from the world, it's going to continue to show the things that you want and you think that you want to see. That's one layer. Then you've got advertising. And that's more of a wider net. Like, they have an idea of who you are and what you have, but that's based on your behaviors in the past. And then they're saying, hey, you should look at this creatine thing, or as you say, come and join this gym or this deal or whatever it is. And they're always trying to sell everything to everybody all the time. And then on the other side of it, it's like, my approach is thinking, well, what if there was a better way? What if you could put yourself into a category or move away from the everythingness and get more specific about your decisions of what's right for you and your steps to take? I mean, the logical result is that you're going to get better results because you have more focus, more dedication, more understanding, and a clearer strategy for yourself. So that's what I think.
So how have you approached that then, in terms of finding out more about what's good for you rather than what actually, I don't know, Facebook, Instagram, TikToks decided that you wanted? So, I mean, it's a classic example of what you just said. I don't know how. I'm suggesting
someone else knows how.
So I don't know what happened. No, I think maybe Kev was looking at someone with big boobs. I have no idea. But I got this woman with the biggest tits. I mean, the biggest tits, and tiny legs, and I stared at her, and then I did the fatal thing of scrolling to see what else she had. She had big lips and heels. Guess what I got delivered for several weeks afterwards? More reels about women with big tits. So I genuinely didn't want that. And some of the information, we don't know how to decipher that. So your intention is to understand ourselves and then to understand the world of AI and social media, is it?
Before I move on that, I just want to know whether this reels have stopped in your...
Yeah, they've stopped. I've stopped looking at tits and I'm now looking at, protein. Honest.
That explains a lot of my feed of what's coming up there. Thanks for the clarity.
Not me, it's my partner.
So for me, I've spent about 15 years in behavioral intelligence, and I love profiling. I love the ability for people to understand who they are, not put them in a box, but open up the box and say, this is your path and this is who you are. And what that's allowed me to do is build a platform. A platform is called ProfileTest.ai, and it's using AI and behavioral intelligence to basically create customized diagnostics, assessments, and pathways for people for different industries. So we as a platform have proprietary tools that we use in 3 intelligence engines, one for predictive selling, one for predictive coaching, and one for predictive people.
Right.
And those are dedicated for those different engines that is relevant for that industry and what people need and what they want to know and what they want to understand. Because the reality is most people have been through some kind of psychometric or behavioral personality test or something like that.
Yeah.
But what happens is they're all the same. And all the coaches
all the
out there,
tests are the same.
they're all the same.
Okay.
All the coaches out there will argue with me and say, no, this one is for that and this one's that. The core of it is the same. The output is what's unique and what's different for a different industry or target audience, etc.
Okay.
So my approach to this is, well, how do we create something that's relevant for a specific industry and a target audience so that the information they receive doesn't have to be interpreted to make sense? It just makes sense because it's for them and what they need to know about that pathway. So that's my approach in thinking about how this works.
Interesting. So take all the shit out and deliver what we need to know for whatever industry we're in.
Yeah.
So let's talk about then my industry in terms of aging, and I seriously believe from some of the research that I've read and some of the research that Kev's been involved in is that people are not necessarily scared of aging. They're scared of being unhealthy and old, therefore being incapable of leading a decent life. So I had a woman in here who calls herself the hormone geek, and she was saying quite worryingly, people who go into later life, not the ones that popped off it early, but the ones that go into later life, I think it's for a woman who gets into her 80s, 25% of her life is spent in ill health, and for a man it's 21%.
I feel like I'm there right now.
No,
21%.
21% of their life is spent. No, you're not there yet. But that's got to be avoidable. But we don't know how to decipher what we should be doing, because there's so much back to that information overload, not knowing what's true, not knowing what we need to do. And so you're going to build a tool about this?
Yeah, we're going to build something really cool.
Yeah.
Should I share?
Share some of it, yeah.
So let me set the scene, right?
Okay.
So when you are looking at your feed or social media, or you're looking for something, most of the time you'll get an advert or something that says, hey, you want to solve this problem, then do this. So they are having this approach where they are focused on already diagnosing a problem that you might want to solve. You know, maybe weight loss, or get bigger muscles, or get healthier, or get back to running, or whatever. You know, get more energy in your life, whatever it is. And they're always focusing on the symptom and then providing a solution. So they're not personalizing that experience for you. Then you go into some pathway, and the pathway then convinces you that this is the next thing that you need.
Yeah.
But the problem is that that's one pathway, and there are many, many different pathways. There's many different things that you might need and not need. And who knows whether that's right or wrong. It's just somebody convincing you more than somebody else that you should be doing something or paying something or buying something. And then it's, it creates the reason why people don't get the result they want, because they stuck with something that was never designed to give them a result in the first place.
Yeah.
And it was never designed to solve a problem that they really have.
It's designed to sell something to them.
100% all about money.
Yeah.
So, we understand this. The diagnostic and the assessment that we are going to be building together is along the lines of, this podcast name. I don't know if I can say it or whatever it is, but
I'll say it.
Not really.
When the fuck did I become old?
Yeah, that one. What she said. And the idea behind it is not about, fixing a symptom. It's about creating a roadmap and saying, well, if you are here, then that. And if you want to get there and this is where you want to go, then this is the pathway you take. So it's looking at all the different angles of health for yourself, probably 5 or 6 different pathways, combining it into a diagnostic, asking a series of questions that are not specific in the way of like, how much weight do you want to lose?
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like, do you want to lose weight? Like, it asks underlying questions so you can answer a bit more honestly about yourself. That's what we want you to do. We want people to do that. And then the result is creating an assessment report or something that gives you the guidance you need to make the best decision for the next pathway for yourself.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like this in the market at the moment. And I think that's what's quite
very
special.
Exciting, yeah.
Well, think about it. If you have somebody go through this, they now have the education and the understanding.
But it's just an understanding of what to do. It's an understanding of how they operate as well. So, you know, if for example, I know I'm not a finisher, I have lots of creative ideas, I'm going to be different to someone who does step-by-step strategy. I'm no different to Kev, let's put it that way. So, but I'm going to be different.
You're right.
So you're going to tell me to do something different to what you would tell Kev, because he's much more of a strategist and will do step by step.
100%.
Otherwise, I might as well just buy something off.
Because if we give you and Kev as an example, the same pathway, one of you is going to fail.
Yeah.
Maybe even both of you.
Yeah.
You know, one person will lose interest faster. So how do we get them quick?
Yeah.
I use another example, maybe in a bit of a marketing thing, right?
Okay.
I buy my face products from this pharmacy. They have an online thing as well. And I get an email from them every week that says to me, get 25% off, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's interesting. That's nice to know. Great. But if they said to me, get 25% off over the next 24 hours on this product, because this is what you bought in the past, I'm more likely to take action, because my profile or my behavioral approach to something is I like good deals, I like quick action, I like to make decisions quickly if the value's there. That's how I make decisions.
And it's about me. It's about me because it's a product that you use. So
and they already have all this information.
Yeah.
They don't know the profile. They don't know how to use the right wording, the right language, but they do know what I've bought in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm more likely to buy more stuff if I buy and put the stuff in my basket that I normally buy. So that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
So the thought process is that way. It's like, not only is this diagnosing something, but it's also adding a behavioral intelligence layer to it, a profile, for example, and that means that your pathway is based on how you approach something. So how are you going to approach solving this problem?
Yeah.
That's the key.
And if we go back to what Kate was saying, is that we don't necessarily know what those problems could be. So like if I were, I don't know, 35, I wish, if I were 35 and I was drinking a bottle of wine a day, which I probably was at 35, to be honest, drinking a bottle of wine a day.
All of us.
Yeah. Well, a bottle of time at lunch, a bottle of wine a day. But if we go back to my days in advertising, it was a bottle of wine at lunch, bottle of wine in the evening, smoking cigarettes and being incredibly unhealthy.
Yeah, exactly.
What's my life going to look like when I get to that last 25% of my life? And I think that's the piece that we've got no reassurances of where we're going, but we can certainly help ourselves in terms of looking forward. If I behave this way, then I stand more of a chance of being healthy, and I'm not spending the last part of my life not being able to get up out of a chair, not being able to walk. I didn't know this. Kev said to me the other day, a high percentage, and I can't remember because my brain's not all there, but a high percentage of people over the age of 65 can't do their 10,000 steps a day. Fuck. That's terrible. And as an estate agent, I know there's a syndrome called bungalow legs, which means that if you don't use your legs to go up and down the stairs, you won't be able to go up and down stairs. So that's frightening if you think about it.
Well, I mean, what's funny about that is bungalow leg is, bungalows are single story. So it's like you can't go upstairs.
Absolutely. Exactly. So if you lose the ability to do things. So,
but also someone might ask and some say, well, am I going to get a diagnosis of this? And the answer is no. No. It's not a medical thing.
No, you can't do medical.
That's got to be, you could use that and ask better questions to your medical service provider. That's what you could do.
Yeah.
It's giving you the understanding of where you're at so you can make better decisions, better choices, ask better questions. Yeah. And that should help to really improve. But what we should do is measure the results over time. So when people go through the assessment and they get a result, we actually periodically research and review their progress and their decisions over time.
Interesting.
Why? Because that gives us, when you get to critical mass, 1,000 or 5,000 assessments, you can quite confidently predict someone's pathway if they do or don't take the advice and implementation.
Absolutely. And that's brilliant. And what I also really like is that you do it based on personality type as well. So you do a personality assessment on your behaviour so that you don't just try and force someone to do something that you know is going to fail. Yeah. So it's actually, everybody's favourite subject is me. So, and everybody wants to know about me. So you're encouraging people to understand themselves better in order to be able to shape their lives in a better way, aren't you?
Well, I mean, for me, with my experience and knowing You know, if I go to a gym, and let's say the guy at the gym said to me, "Oh, it's going to take 12 months for you to solve this problem," I'll be like, "Nah, I need to find somebody else."
24 hours,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. So some people will be like, "Okay, I understand," and others will be like, "Well, you know, that's not for me. I want a faster result."
Yeah.
Even though we know that the result's going to take time, the difference is now it's like, okay, we can do this within 3 months, 90 days, but you're going to have to do 3-4 sessions a week, and it's going to be more, and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. It now becomes more of a personalized journey for that individual, for them to get the result they want.
But if he said to you, because you've already said, by the way, you buy your skin products, if it's immediate, and I'll take it if it benefits to me. So if he said to you, right, at the end of week 1, expect to be able to breathe better. At the end of week 2, expect to be able to run further. At the end of the first month, you will have lost, expect to lose an inch around your waist.
Yeah.
That is better than what's going to take 12 months.
I mean, 100%. You know, it's something that people can swallow.
Yeah.
And, when the thing's too big, then you just never start.
No, you don't. You're absolutely right. You don't, absolutely. So is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want to say about? Oh, I know, but you were talking about, actually, going back to social media, we talked about this a while back, is that we end up going down rabbit holes, and we end up using social media as meditation.
Escape rather than meditation.
Well, we think it is. We actually think that when we're scrolling down, we're relaxing, and we're not, are we? We're just filling our brains with rubbish, and the dopamine hits, and the lows, and the brain fog. Is there any way do you think that that this wonderful world of AI can help us stop doing that?
That's such a good question. My approach would be first knowing that someone is showing you that on purpose.
Right.
You're being shown something that a system thinks that you need to see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's creating that addiction. Mm-hmm. So when you are scrolling, become more conscious of the fact that, I've been under someone else's control for 30 minutes.
That's scary, isn't it? Because we don't know that.
We don't know. And then all the ads, everything you see is just about getting you to buy stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's not just money that you spend, it's advertisers spending money on you seeing those things. So it's really important that they get this right, and picture in your mind this little creepy guy sitting at a computer behind a screen going, keep going, yes, ad, okay, great, I'll show you more big tits, ad.
Okay. All right, that was one mistake.
Sorry, I thought it was great. So
she was fascinating. God knows how she stood up. Anyway, but yeah, so it's actually,
you don't even have to look at it anymore. It's now going to just show up on your phone.
Well, actually, the phone's not in the room.
Talking about it.
Well, the phone's not in the room, so hopefully
it'll be on my phone.
Yeah, you'll get big tits later on this evening. You're probably going to go, what's that? So it is for the whole from where you were a year ago to where you are now has taken a massive change in direction, in your view on how to cope with life. And you now meditate a la Joe Dispenza, who I highly recommend if you listen to any of his.
Yeah, so good. And you could just YouTube. There's so much stuff on YouTube.
No, I do. I YouTube him. Yeah, I haven't been to Dallas and done it. I'm so jealous. And you can then if you actually step back from all this stuff that we are being
noise.
Yeah, all the noise, and imagine the gremlin going ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
You can take more control over it.
Well, it's just like I wake up at 5 every day, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not like 5 o'clock, yay! It's hard. Like sometimes my alarm goes off for a few times. Yeah. I've got my watch just gently vibrates, but it's the commitment to get out of bed and do it.
Yeah.
And I'll go and get a coffee, and I'll go to the loo, and then I'll sit down and decide what I'm going to listen to.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll do like an hour, an hour or so meditation. And I feel like, that's the time, that's my time. That's the time I'm giving back to my body.
Lovely.
But more than my body is my mind, because I'm a very big thinker. I'm a very big processor, and I like to be logical about everything. Everything has to connect and has to make sense. But when I go into that space, what I'm doing is removing that logic, and I'm creating the space for things to take place that I'm not logically thinking about.
Yeah.
And I'll give an example of this. Like one of the biggest problems I was trying to solve in my business was, how do I get to a point where we understand people's profile without them going through an actual assessment and psychometric? That's the future where I want to get to, because imagine if people could see the things that they really need, not just things that need to be sold.
Great, yeah.
But also imagine if people could make better choices about what they need to do. Apply for jobs, like if they saw ads that were just jobs that were right for them, and not just based on their skills, but based on jobs they're actually going to be successful in. So I tried to solve this, and I just couldn't in the logical world come up with a way that it could be solved. On the first day of the retreat, we were in the meditation, and the answer came to me, was like, I know how I'm going to do this. We're going to do this research survey. We're going to create a diagnostic for it. We're going to run 5,000 people through it. We're going to get the data set, and then we'll be able to reverse engineer this. And that's what's exciting for me.
So it's a question of watch this space.
Oh man, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, exciting. Let me know when come back when it's here.
Because the reality is sales are fun. You want to buy stuff that you want.
Yeah, you do.
The problem is to buy stuff you don't want and don't need. That's the problem that we're trying to avoid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you want to do things that work for you. Get the right job, get the right health,
decisions.
make better decisions, absolutely. And we are being, as you say, being controlled. Daniel, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Will you come back and talk about what happens next in the whole behavioural science?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great.
I'd love to be.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I forgot to say, please like, share, and follow the podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Deezer, etc., etc. Thank you very much.